Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we are diving into a story that feels like a movie, right? Full of ancient predators, mysterious forest, powerful signs, and elephants. Yes, you heard that right. So, today we'll explore how an American company claims to have brought an extinct animal, the mighty dire wolf, back to life. And then we'll journey to the forest of Tamil Nadu, where India's gentle giants, the elephants, are facing both danger and hope. So grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's begin. Now, students, first let's travel back, like way back over 10,000 years ago. So during that time, Earth was colder, wilder, and full of giant animals. Among them roamed a fierce predator, the dire wolf. Okay, so these were real creatures, larger and stronger than today's wolves, and they hunted in packs across the Americas. But like the dinosaurs before them, dire wolves disappeared. And scientists believe they went extinct after the last ice age. Okay? So, what's the news? Why are we talking about it? Students, although this species went extinct, recently a company called Colossal Biosciences, yes, Colossal Biosciences, based in the US, claims to have done something that sounds totally like science fiction. So they say they have brought back the dire wolf. Well, almost, okay. So in October 2024, two pups were born. These two pups. Their names Romulus and Remus. They are named after the legendary founders of Rome, who, according to myth, were raised by a she wolf. Cool, right? But how did they do it? Okay, so the process, like they used to basically brought to bring back this extinct species is can be understood in few steps. So they did first what they did, they extracted DNA. Okay, first was extracting DNA. So the scientists believe, the scientists actually found skulls. Okay, scientists found skulls of a dire wolves, some 13,000 years old and a 72,000 year old. मतलब कि इस जो डायर वुल्फ का उनको स्कल मिला था, और जिसकी एज 13,000 ईयर्स या फिर 72,000 पुराना स्कल मिला था. So from these, they carefully extracted bits of ancient DNA. Okay, so they extracted DNA, ancient DNA from the skull of the specimen that they found. Next, what they did? Then they compared this ancient DNA with modern canids. That's the scientific family that include, dogs, wolves, and jackals. So the goal was to find out what made dire wolves different. Maybe it was their muscle, structure, their coat color, or their size. You know, so DNA extract kiya, and then they did the comparison. Okay, and then step 3 involved gene editing. Now gene editing is something we have already covered in our mentorship classes, right? So they use something called CRISPR-9, CRISPR, which is a powerful gene editing tool. So they inserted specific dire wolf traits into a modern canid embryo. Okay, and you can understand this by imagining uh, building a Lego creature but using some really ancient pieces. So you are just building a Lego creature and using old ancient pieces. So this is something similar to that only. Then step 4 involved birth. So the modified embryos were placed inside the surrogate mothers, and after months of careful monitoring, Romulus and Remus born. Okay. Now question is, are these pups 100% dire wolves? Are these 100% dire wolves? Not quite, of course. Not possible, है ना? So their DNA is 99.5% similar, but they are not exact copies. Okay. So it's like making a copy of a painting. You might get the colors and shape right, but it's not the original. Okay. And here's where the debate begins. So some scientists say this isn't real de-extinction. Okay. वो कह रहे हैं कि you can't just bring back what's truly gone. Okay. तो एक बार जब extinct हो गए उसको आप दोबारा से नहीं लेकर आ सकते हो. It's not possible. क्योंकि although their DNA is 99.5% similar, they are not exact copies. Okay, so what if they spread diseases or compete with existing species? And then there's also a money factor. Critics ask, should we spend millions reviving ancient animals when many endangered species today need our help? ओके तो साइंटिस्ट ये भी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं कि आप इतने पुराने डीएनए को यूज करके जो एक्सटिंक्ट स्पीशीज है उसको वापस लेकर आ रहे हो वहीं एट द सेम टाइम बहुत सारे ऐसी स्पीशीज हैं विच आर एट द वर्ज ऑफ एक्सटिंक्शन तो उसको क्यों नहीं प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे है ना क्योंकि आप किसी स्पीशीज को अगर वापस से लेकर आते हैं तो उसमें मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स की इन्वेस्टमेंट होती है रिसर्च होता है फंडिंग होता है right so while colossal biosciences celebrates the world of science watches it carefully so the question is are we opening a door to the past or a pandora's box right now students let's shift gears and move to something closer to home yes we're going to talk about india's majestic elephants so elephant when I talk about elephants are symbol of strength wisdom and peace in India they roam forests they appear in temple processions and they are even part of our mythology but did you know that they are also one of the most threatened species yes they are threatened species in our country and recently a shocking incident in Penagaram taluk Tamil Nadu made headlines an elephant was shot dead and the body was burned to hide the evidence. So, why would someone do this? Well, officials say that it's an act of poaching. What is poaching? Illegally killing animals, often for body parts like tusk. Okay, so but the man who was main suspect before the justice could be served he was found dead under mysterious circumstances some activists claim it was an extrajudicial killing okay and this has actually led to investigation a special branch of police that is looking into complicated crimes but we're going to talk about how serious is elephant poaching in India well surprisingly government audit found that poaching causes less than 1% of animal deaths. Okay, so poaching causes less than 1% of animal deaths. But here's the twist it still accounts for 7.5% of unnatural deaths. And more elephants die because of सबसे ज़्यादा जो factor है responsible for elephant death is train and road accidents सबसे ज्यादा है ट्रेन एंड रोड एक्सीडेंट्स and then poisoning by farmers, and sometimes electrocution from fences. So it's a complex problem. Okay. And talking about elephants, they often stray into farms or towns because their natural forests are shrinking. We humans, we are cutting down forest, right? So where they're gonna roam? Of course, they're gonna, you know, enter into in human habitations, and this causes human elephant conflict. And because of this reason, sometimes people take extreme steps to protect their crops or even homes. Okay. So, forest officials, although they are saying that they are improving surveillance with drones and camera traps, but activists believe we need long term structural changes like better training for forest staff, stronger wildlife laws, and education for local communities. Okay, now let's talk about Asian elephant. Okay, कुछ facts हैं that are related to Asian elephants, like um, they its IUCN status is endangered. Okay, its IUCN status is endangered, and India's elephant population is between 26,000 to 29,000, and it has a lifespan of 60 years. Age of maturity is 14 years, and its gestation period is 18 to 22 months. That's almost 2 years. Okay. And when we talk about their diet, so they need 200 liters 200 liters of water, and they around 250 to 300 kilograms of food every single day. So that's like 5 sacks of rice and a mini water tank. And they live in herds, and their herd is led by a female called the matriarch. So male usually walk alone, and also only males have task in Asian elephant. Only males have task. And students, elephants are also, they are extremely intelligent. They use tools, they mourn their dead, and they even recognize themselves in mirrors, something only a few animals can do. But despite all their wonder, they face three big threats. कौन से? Habitat loss due to deforestation construction, poaching for tusk and body parts, and human elephant conflict as they enter farms and villages. So saving them means protecting forest, that we are educating people and we are caring for nature. After all, if elephants thrive, the forest thrives, and so do we. All right. So, students, that's it for today's episode. I hope you learned something new and felt inspired, right? And see, although you are seeing just animals, but they are not just as news stories, okay? They are also fellow beings who share this planet with us. Okay, that we need to remember. Okay, students, until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and always ask questions. Goodbye.